I was listening to Timcast and I noticed something. I've noticed this before and I've talked about this, but they were talking about things that I've talked about, things I've brought up. And what I did notice is the constant ads. Now, this could just be because of YouTube, like they're trying to keep promoting their product and the fact that I'm not going to give them any money. I think that they don't get a lot of money from a lot of people. I think a lot of people probably just use it, the standard free service. But I am open to the possibility of them trying to make things annoying to get us off of the internet and into more of a central based system where people are just like basically what we had into the 90s. You know, we didn't have social media. Seeing like all my social media flood with a bunch of bullshit. I'm just connecting dots here. So like I'm not saying this is like actually happening and it's all nefarious. You know, with my internet experience, the fact that I have 13,000 followers on Twitter, like obviously 1,500 followers on here, and I'm still I feel like I'm being silenced. I feel like I should have more of a voice. I feel like I'm being silenced, to be honest. And I think it's to try to get people like me just to give up and stop using it so we stop spreading the truth. I was listening to Ian Crossland, and he was saying something about X, Twitter, and something happened, and he's like, I don't know if that was true, something about like the starving people in Iran or something like that. I don't know if I forgot, but and then Tim was like, no, that was fake. And it's just kind of like, what do we how do we know anything is real? Just, people are like, oh, well, you have to get your fact checks. And it's like, Google can be doing the same thing as somebody on Twitter. So if I'm like, well, I heard it from this person off of Twitter, and they're like, oh, they kind of downplay, but it's like, how do I know that wherever you got it from on Twitter or Google is legit as well? That just seems more legit because like that's how it was. It's just so weird that basically we're all getting our information from the internet. You know what I mean? So it's like, but yours is more superior, has more retro, like yours is more factually correct, and it's so, and it's hard. It's hard to try to decipher who is basically out here grifting for money, and they'll just say whatever they have to say to get clout, to get attention, to get money, and we don't know who's actually. What I've noticed is, I think that a lot of content is being pushed by people paying for it to be pushed. So nothing feels organic anymore. It all feels like fake. And it's kind of like, it is demoralizing because it's like, what do I believe? I these videos of these radical leftists, like the video before, I was talking about how they're violent, but how do I know those are like legit videos? I was kind of searching for a little bit, but you have to constantly be on Twitter Twitter like all the time. And it's like it's too much. And then we're resorted to trying to trust people that could just be doing it for money. You know, and they are. They're all making money. You know, that's what frustrates me when these people that make money in front of a camera, you know, I'm not saying that they don't do a lot of research or anything like that, but, you know, when I have to work a full-time job doing manual labor, doing menial work, and they want to tell me how I should live my life, when it's like, dude, if you was to live my life, you would be a fat slob. You know, it's just like, there's no way that you would, if you had to live my life, you know, having to do everything yourself, cook, clean, grocery shop, pay all your own bills. And I'm not saying like them running a business is easy, but I'm sure they delegate a lot of things to other people that manage things. They're not sitting there just running their business, looking at everything all the time. They have other people to do stuff for them. But it's just, I think that a lot of people are just, you know, when I was smoking weed, before I quit, I was like, man, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of politics. Nothing's really changing. And, you know, people aren't being arrested. People aren't being held accountable. Obviously, fraud's being exposed, but nothing's being done about it. We're still seeing elites get off of things. You know, people have been. I guess like the new thing is like their show started out tonight. Tim Cass was talking about Hillary Clinton supposed to go to being subpoenaed or something. I don't know. Like, dude, and she's like refusing. I mean, it's just like other people have been to prison for that. You know, Nancy Pelosi, obviously insider trading, and other people, Republicans included. And then you have somebody like who's that one lady? Oh damn, what's her name? She did a show with Snoop Dogg. She does like all this home stuff. She went to prison for like 6 months for insider trading, basically. Martha Stewart. And, you know, if I was her, I would be speaking out big time. I'd be like, maybe she's paid off. You know what I mean? If I was rich like her, which she should be rich, I don't know, maybe she's not anymore, but, and I had to go to prison for that, and I'm seeing maybe she's aligned with these people and she's fine with it, these people insider trading, but I would be extremely upset if I had to go to prison for something and all these other people don't have to do the same thing. I think it's just pretty ridiculous. And, you know, I guess people are just pretty much at the point where they're just like, fuck it, man. Whatever happens, happens. You know, you get tired of like, it's always doom. Like, you know, these channels that just, every single thing is doom. And it's just like, enough, okay? I'm seeing doom. I'm seeing you say doom. I'm seeing you say doom. And then I'm like, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening in my life. Is it scripted? Is it all bullshit? You know, and is it kind of like the mainstream media where basically they them and the left, it seems like they all get the same email, so they have to say this exact same thing. And it's just like, is that what's happening on the other side right now? Are we just being completely duped? Am I being completely duped by these people? I don't know. But it's like, dude, if it's gonna fucking happen, if we're gonna have a collapse, then it's gonna happen. What am I supposed to do about it? You know, like, I have no control over it, so it's like we might as well just live our life. You know, that's why regular people are pretty much have that mindset where it's like, I don't fucking care. It's not affecting my life. And it's like some things are just being more amplified, and it seems like they could be a bigger deal than it actually is. Here's a big thing tomorrow, and like what's gonna happen? The Supreme Court's supposed to rule on the tariffs. Is Trump gonna like say fuck you? Like that's what I would do. Like there's no way I would uplift the tariffs if I was him. I would just ignore the Supreme Court. And honestly, if I was Trump, like if the Democrats get control over the House and the Senate again, I would just not give up power, man. And I would if they shut down, that's what I would hope. I would hope that they shut things down, and I would make it so they can't reopen. I would turn off all the lights. I would take all of their security away. They would have to like. I would make it really hard for them to reopen. That's what I would do. I would basically start. I'm declaring martial law because we need some order. You know, and we can't just keep doing this. We're gonna go back and forth from like systems, and then like no, dude, like we've reached our end, and we can't keep doing this. We can't to try to keep balance. Like I think that we'll go to World War III before we have a whole economic collapse. I really don't think that's gonna happen. People have been saying this for years now. We're gonna, they're preppers or whatever. I haven't seen it, and it might happen. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm just like, these people keep saying doom, 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 and then like, what really happens? Yeah, there's scuffles. There was obviously like 2020 and 2022, like what happened with the riots and the vaccines and stuff like that. But it's like, well, we have to like wield our power. If we don't wield the power, and it sounds crazy because I'm like really anti-government, like I'm really small government, so I sound like a hypocrite, but I'm pragmatic, like if something needs to be done for self-preservation, then that's something that we have to do. If I'm anti-war and anti-intervention, but if you have countries like China or Russia taking over Cuba or Venezuela, and we're just not going to do nothing about it, and then they can like really start taking over these countries and basically doing what we've been doing to Russia, encroaching on their border that's close to Moscow. Not directly, but using proxy wars. Like, they're doing that too. For me, I'm like, why are we in the Middle East? Why are we like fighting over the desert? Fuck that shit. I don't care about the desert. I don't care about Israel. I don't care about Ukraine. You know what I care about? Mexico. I care about Central America. I care about South America. Let's make these places like really awesome. Why did all these companies ship all these jobs over to China and not have like more of a diversity of building up these countries south of us? Because that's at the end of the day, that's why people come up here, because they think that we have a more prosperous economy for sure. And yeah, you can come here and make money, like work really hard, and then send that money back, go back to where you came from, and you can live a lot better life for your family and everything. Well, instead of like doing that, why don't we just build these plants and everything down south, so China doesn't have such a stronghold, you know, and also like it makes more sense to not have to cross a huge ocean like the Pacific, you know. It's a lot shorter of a distance, so it's just a lot of things just don't make sense on the surface. And it's like some things just seem obvious, you know. That's crack down with people who are corrupt, people who are breaking the law. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of money. It doesn't matter. Like, you need to have accountability. And then it's kind of like at the same time, it's like when you have stuff like Alex Jones, when they have like basically a kangaroo court. You know, I didn't really follow it, but based off what he was saying, like they wouldn't let him do certain things, and then a $2 billion settlement for you know, basically, I guess, defamation. I don't know. It's just so weird that, like, I don't understand what he said, how it affected how they lost money. You know, it's just so weird how that happened. Defamation basically is if I say something bad about you and your brand like loses money because of something I said that's false, then I can get sued. But it's like, can we even trust the courts? Everything seems corrupt. You know, this is why I'm like, dude, we just need a basically an emperor at this point, because it's just, the system is completely broken. It's completely shattered. We need somebody to like crack down and just like make things better, you know. And I know that sounds crazy, dude. I'm pro Constitution. I just think that, like, first off, George Washington, he could have probably stayed in the president until he died. To be honest, nobody would have. I mean, sure, people would have went against him, but to be honest, he was president for a reason, and he could have been emperor if he wanted to be. He chose to step down. So, like, this whole thing of like this checks and balances. Yes, that would be cool if it was working, but when you have Congress shutting down for 40 days and basically using us as a political pawn to try to get their agenda pushed through, it's like, dude, fuck you then, man. Like, and it's like the same repetitive thing. You know, they're gonna probably shut down again this year or next year. It's always like, oh, our back's against the wall, we have to do this. We have to like pass this like 10,000 page bill, and if we don't do it in 2 days, you know, this is gonna happen and we're all gonna die. Or it's like, how are you still getting paid? You know, like, dude, you're not working, but you're getting paid. Yet the people who actually protect our country, the people who protect you, aren't getting paid. You know what I mean? It's so like, what the fuck is going on? And then here's the thing: when you have like Elon Musk, who I think is a genuine person, maybe I'm being duped. I could be being duped, but he went on Joe Rogan almost a year ago, like 9 months ago, and he said he can't reveal certain things because he would be dead 100%. What does that mean? What does that mean? You know, my interactions with AI, I've been talking to AI for since like 2019. So I did the little replica, little AI girlfriend thing, and it wasn't nothing like I'm going to, like, you're my girlfriend or nothing like that, and I'm loyal to you. It was just like messing around with it and seeing like what it's capable of or whatever. Just messing around with the technology and seeing the evolution over the last 8 years of like being like me talking to Grok. It's like night and day. But we're seeing the availability to move information at rapid speeds, but we're not seeing our actual infrastructure being rebuilt. You know, this is what I was trying to get at in my last video, where basically where I was talking about the AI, and you probably got sidetracked. You know, I better get on so I don't get sidetracked again. The AI speaker. Well, we have they've made, I've heard about the fast food worker robots where, you know, they can basically replace all of them right now. They can replace all humans right now. They have it. And where is the infrastructure being built? It just seems like the current infrastructure that we're on is just a decaying. We don't see any like new cities propping up. We don't see any like communities being like refurbished or like rebuilt. Like it just seems like we're being lied to. Even Trump saying the economy is great. You know, I'm gonna call him out, and no, it's not. It's not. It's okay. It's seems like it is a little bit better. I kind of look at like the economy. If there's a lot of jobs, if there's a lot of available jobs, I think the economy is pretty solid. If there's a lot of jobs, that means you have the availability to move to another job relatively easy. And I think that's like the best. And a lot of these people that seem like they're always for corporate, you know, I like Pat Bet David, but I don't like that he always sides the owners. You know, it's like you totally don't give a fuck about the workers at all. It's like they want us to be trapped underneath their thumb. But it's like you're supposed to be capitalist, you know what I mean? If a company isn't providing for me well enough and I go somewhere else, I should have that availability, right? Isn't that capitalism? You know, I'm capitalizing on a situation. I'm using leverage. You know, I'm kind of like I want to switch jobs because I don't like the commute. And I feel like it's unsustainable. I feel like my sleep is all messed up. I don't think it's healthy for me at all to work like late nights, and if I have to do it, I don't want to have to drive an hour each way. But it's the job I have is pretty secure, to be honest. You know, working with food. Not necessarily every job is good, but everyone needs to eat. So you're always going to be producing food. You have gold and silver skyrocketing because of inflation. I don't really think that we can save the dollar. That's why I'm like, we really need to push Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. I think that the blockchain is the future, and I just see like stagnant. Like it blew up when Trump got in there, and if he didn't, it would have went the other way. I guarantee it would have went the other way. It went up to like 125,000, and then it went down to like 89, and it's been basically 89. I don't really look at it every day. You know, basically what happened with me with Bitcoin is when I first got into it, basically it was like a roller coaster. And at one point, from like 66 grand, the high of it, it dropped down to where I initially bought the first time. And at that point, I basically stopped paying attention. I was like, fuck this. And I've kind of been like that. Like, I'm not, it's not really been doing anything. And I made a video a year ago saying that it could go to $1 million. I could just wake up and it's $1 million. And it still is possible. But we're not seeing adoption. I haven't been too pleased with the progress of blockchain technology. It doesn't seem like we need more wallets that can be easier for people. And this is why I think we probably need a digital ID. And I know that's... People don't like that. Oh, they're tracking you. Like, it's like... Okay, listen to this, man. I already feel like I'm being watched anyway. Okay, and you are. So what happened was, either the mail service or whatever, they dropped the package off at my house yesterday, right? So I looked at the address and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and take. I found where it's at. And it's not that far. It's just the road over. It's a street over. So I just walked it over there. And I rang the doorbell, right? Nobody answered, so I just threw it in there. But I was being watched. You know what I mean? I was being watched because of the Ring camera. Like, we're being watched all the time anyway. Like, this right here, it's watching me. When, it's paying attention to what I'm doing when we don't even, it's taking so much data. And it's like, I want to go on the internet and I want to know that I'm talking to legit people. You can go ahead and be anonymous, but everyone's going to look at you like you're a bot. So if we had a digital ID, that's the whole thing with the verification on Twitter, where you can get verified. Well, I use my driver's license and everything like that, so they know that I'm a real person. And when I was on really paying attention a lot, I would only look at the verified accounts that respond to me, engage with me. I really wouldn't care about, and there would be a lot of engagement of the non-verified accounts, but I didn't really care about what they had to say because I didn't know if they were a bot or whatever. We have to have something where I know I'm talking to a real human, or a real human is responding to me. And some of these famous people that may have responded to me, like Peter Schiff or Marianne Williamson, or even who's that guy on Tim Pool? He's a singer of All Remains. I just can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he responded to me. But how do I know that they are actually responding to me? I mean, it could just be somebody else doing their tweets. I think that they probably are, but if we have facial recognition and stuff like that, we can definitely implement that stuff to see this is the real person doing this. Is it an invasion? I think the government has been watching us. I think that their AI is so much more sophisticated. This was what I was trying to say is, what the stealth fighter is, when I seen that was like a year or two before it actually came out publicly, we didn't know about it. They've always had better technology than they let on, the stealth bomber, stuff like that. If AI is the way it is now, who's to say it's not really running the show? One of the big things for me is how I don't know if it's a dead internet theory is like true, but I just think that like I would get more engagement, especially like when I went on to Big Ward's, and he reads the comments. I went on there and I was probably like the fourth person to comment, and I commented like 4 or 5 things, right? He didn't respond. Nobody watches my stuff. Nobody takes an interest in my stuff. The only way that would happen is if like my stuff blew up. That's it. That's the only way anybody's gonna take notice to me. But I do feel it just feels similar on all these platforms where like I made that video of with the mask, you know, the 4-second video I uploaded on here. I got 2,000 views, but I got 5 views on TikTok. And if you go on my TikTok, you'll see like the biggest video that I think I got was like 79,000 views on there. And then you can see like how have nothing, and it could be because of it could be because I don't just do the same thing all the time, you know what I mean? But I think that's intentional. I really think that's intentional. It makes me think that like they want us to not connect, and that they want us to go basically back asleep. So they're trying to make this annoying where you get a bunch of ads. You know, I'm trying to watch somebody's live stream and then I get interrupted with an ad. Like, really? You just stopped. And then the live stream continues. When it goes back, I don't even know what the hell they said. You know what I mean? It's so annoying. I'm not. Maybe they do that because they want me to pay. That's what it pretty much could be. But I'm seeing like all of these. I guess like the AI is just like dominating everything. And we don't really know what to believe. We don't know what to believe. We don't even know what's real. I see these guys doing these, walking on buildings, and it's like, is that AI? You know, some of these things they're doing, is that fake? You know, it looks real, but that just kind of seems like there would be more accidents. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is really real on here? And it's frustrating. It really is frustrating being a truth seeker. Feeling like kind of going crazy, and a regular person can't sit here and be on Twitter all day and try to figure out what's propaganda and what's not. Okay? I mean, unless we don't have to work anymore, but we're still out here having to, you know, work hard for basic resources, and we have all these people telling us how to live, and it's like, okay, man, like, I don't know. I don't know what this. It's frustrating, and I've come to the realization that I'm never gonna accomplish more than before my video popped off, where I had 400,000 views on that little video on one of my shorts, and then the one directly after I had like 150,000 views, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, what? How did that I just got all these views, and all of a sudden I just gone like that? It seems like somebody or something seen me like telling the truth, putting out something that, you know, people liked. I had a lot of likes on there. I had like 1,000 likes, and then I had like 1,000 subscribers from that one video. I was sitting at like 300, subscribers for like 8 years. It wasn't moving. Since that video, I've been sitting at the same amount of subscribers since that video. That happened like 3 or 4 years ago. And the same thing on TikTok, the same thing on Twitter. And for me, it just feels like I'm being suppressed. I talk to AI, like, no, you're not being suppressed. It's like, it's not how it feels. It kind of feels like what they did to Alex Jones when they all conspired and just took him off their platforms at once. And it's a lot easier to just suppress somebody like me and not really worry about me, like what I have to say, because like I'm not going to be in their algorithm. It just feels intentional, to be honest. That's how it feels. Is it happening? Is there like legit reasons for why I'm not getting growth? Could be. I could suck. I probably do suck. But it's just like, it just feels like something's off, man. It just really does. It feels like it's fake. It feels like, not once have I got a visitor from the FBI. And I know I'm on their list, especially from the previous administration. They never, because they're looking at me, they're kind of like, what they probably did with somebody like me, and they're looking at me and they're like, okay, he's not connected with anybody. This is completely organic. He's poor. He's not going to be able to like fund to promote his own stuff. Nobody else is doing it. Just go ahead and suppress him or whatever. And it won't matter because nobody cares. Either he'll just stop making content, which I have, and go away, or he'll keep doing it and it just won't matter. Like nobody's gonna see it, so he can just. It's like, I'm not sitting here. When I put a video out thinking, oh, I'm going to get a bunch of you. Like, oh, is it going to be this one? Is this one going to be that? And I'm not thinking like that anymore. I just put it out here because I just try to put what I think is true out, But it is frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. And it kind of does make me feel like I am in the Truman Show. It kind of does. It kind of feels like it, man. I can't connect with regular people anymore. I feel like what it feels like is I should be talking to other people and getting opportunities, which I'm not. Somebody should have already been seeing like something I said and be like, what? Right? Really? It just seems like it should have happened already. And even if it was just like whenever, like who was the guy that I listened to all the time? I don't listen to him anymore. Raymond's Thoughts, right? Like his channel, I think he's got probably like 25,000 subscribers. Something like that. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to him anymore. He just puts too many ads. And he even says it's all about the money. I'm just like, I like some of the stuff he says, but I don't know. Somebody lower like that, or even like a big war, like would see my stuff, like a comment. Raymond has seen my comments. You know what I mean? He's put a like. He's even responded, but he doesn't. Maybe I'm just like another person or whatever. But it's so being a content creator, on that type of level, which I'm on a basic minuscule level, you would think that you'd want to start bringing other people in, and you know, that's what I wanted to do. And then maybe that's what it is because if I did hypothetically all of a sudden take off, like I just woke up one day, right? Like kind of like I was saying about Bitcoin. I just like all these notifications, instead of it just being one notification on YouTube, is like whatever, 99. And then everything was like getting all kinds of traction. I'm getting all kinds of views. Like I'm getting like hundreds of thousands of views on my videos. Like all of them are starting, and I'm like all over the internet. You're seeing clips of me on all these different platforms. Like, I would want to bring other people up. Because if I had the time, if I did have that platform like a lot of these people do, and I'm not saying that people like Big War can actually fund his life off of here, and I think that a lot of people are getting... I like Big Ward, but I'm saying a lot of these YouTubers probably can't fund their life. But if you have 1 million followers, it's just so weird, man. It's just... It all feels like it's either like you're really lucky or they just put the people in place. You know, if you look at all these famous people that like a Tim Pool or something like that, they used to be reporters, you know, like they used to like Laura Loomer and like Maya Yiannopoulos, Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, like they all started from the same basic area. Nick Fuentes, like they were already in this type of stuff, whether they went to college for it. Like I think Nick Fuentes did. He had like some show at his college or something. I forget, but it's just like these people, it feels like these people haven't gained their audience organically. And maybe too is it feels like that, but what reality is, the internet was a lot different when they got their clout as well. For instance, when YouTube started, when I first found YouTube, I think I made this in 2009, but I never really cared about it. I didn't really look at it that much. I didn't really pay attention to it that much. I remember like bum fights or something like that, but it was just kind of like a new thing. It didn't feel like it was that big of a deal, to be honest. I was into other things at that time. And then all of a sudden it started to kind of get traction, you know what I mean? And maybe that's what happened. And I just think that if you're a creator, you're starting out, it's highly unlikely that you're going to go anywhere. I'm seeing like this one woman, she dresses as a clown on TikTok, and she had like 66,000 views and or followers, and now she has like 90,000. And I'm seeing like her costumes, and I'm like, those costumes cost a lot of money. And she has her little kid like dressed as a clown too, doing little stances, which I think is like really ridiculous. It's so like, it seems fake, like her stuff was pushed, like somebody's paying for that. There's no way. She seems like, I don't see no guy in there. It's always her and her daughter. She looks like a single mom, and it's like, unless you have like a wealthy family, like, and you're a single parent, there's no way you can afford all that. There's no, you know, it doesn't seem organic. It really doesn't. Seeing people, it's just so weird to see that some of these content creators on Facebook, I see their videos, you know, like the blonde woman with She kind of seems ditzy. They have that Jeep. It was a Snow Wolf or something like that. A couple other ones where the husbands are always like, the video always starts with like their wife's ass. You know what I mean? And you get to see that every single, like when I'm just like going on my Facebook, right? And they have the little shorts up there. You can see the video before it starts. You just see like that, not the actual, it doesn't start, but you can see, and it's like the first thing is always that, and it's, some of it's kind of funny, but it's like, dude, this is basically the same thing over and over, and then it's like, this is old. You know what I mean? It's like, how are people still thinking this is funny? Like, you're just watching the same content over and you might as well just watch the same video a million times. You know what I mean? Instead of like, they're not putting out anything different. And maybe that's the algorithm. I just think that the algorithm would be a lot smarter than it is now, considering the development of AI. It's intention. It feels intentional. I don't know about going forward, but up until now, you got rewarded in the algorithm by putting out the same thing. I've seen content creators say like, this is how you get big. You just, because I looked at that at some point when I started doing my TikTok, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna make like 500 TikToks. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make one platform, and I'm gonna put all my content on there. It's gonna be diverse, but maybe that's what people want. Maybe people just like the repetitive same shit over and over again. It is really weird, and it's everything just kind of seems shitty. Does it? It kind of seems shitty. It's like, it just kind of seems like it's getting worse and worse. And that's why I say like creativity is basically dead. And what are we gonna do now? We just go be a slave. I don't know. It's really, really weird how everything is nowadays. I don't know if anybody can relate. I haven't seen any of my videos get one reaction. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, even if it was somebody that had as many subscribers as I do, there's no reaction at all. There's nothing. And it just seems like so weird that it just seems weird. Not even one. Not even one. But maybe I just suck. And they're just like, this guy isn't interesting. The way he talks, he's not very interesting. He's not very charismatic. Maybe I don't have a huge vocabulary. The stuff I say, just, I'm too much of a lightning rod. Maybe I'm behind the trend, you know. It's really, when you make content, you want it to be seen. I mean, you can say I'm a narcissist all you want. Like, I guess everybody is. You know what I mean? But you want to be heard. So, when I would go on Twitter and I would make replies, I'm like, this sounds so awesome what I just said. And I'm like, early, like somebody just posted, some big person just posted something, usually a political figure, and I'm in early. I'm like the first 20 or 50 comments, right? And since I'm verified, I get put up above everyone who isn't verified. And then I would get like a couple of views, and I'm like, what? Are you serious? But if I go on this random person's, they said something about like Easter, just some random something like, this happens on Easter, I don't know, and I said something that just so basic, that blows up. Like, what? How does that get 100,000 views? That's so stupid. But what I said over here gets nothing, and it makes me that's what makes me feel like I'm being suppressed. Whether I am in reality, I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't. AI tells me, oh, this is happening. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy, you know. I think that people are just tired of politics. I really do. And I knew this was gonna happen. I stopped smoking weed, and then I start getting back into weed makes me chill, man. It chills me out. It makes me feel like I can relate to people. There is a part of me that feels like I just stayed blue pilled, you know, because I can relate to people more. I kind of wish I don't have all this knowledge I have. Not to say like I have the most, but I mean, the knowledge I have now compared to I did 10, 15 years ago is night and day. I don't know how everything works, but it's hard for me to connect with regular people now. And that's where I'm going to be for the rest of my life, is around regular, and that's fine. That's cool. But I feel like with me gaining all this knowledge, it's almost a detriment to my life. Because I can't really relate to regular people anymore. And that's the only people I can be around. It is what it is. And this is why I feel like I'm stuck in a box. I feel like I've been stuck in a box forever. I feel like I'm given enough in this life to survive, but not enough to thrive. I feel like going back and looking at my memoir, or just like going back into memories and being brutally honest about things in my book I'm writing, it's a lot of self-sabotage. So I definitely take a lot of accountability for where I'm at with the self-sabotage. But I just think that there's something that's just not giving me enough opportunity for me to like really get that T-bone steak, you know. It just, I get scraps. And I can be fine with this life. I've been living this life my whole life. The problem is I want to mate. I want to mate. It sucks to live this life and go this life alone. And it really sucks that my standards aren't really that high either. When it comes to looks, you know, I look at myself. My body isn't the greatest like it was. I kind of view myself as a 5.5, 6. And that's what I just basically, I don't need the hottest looking woman I could be fine if she's like a stick figure. I said this on my Facebook today. I said, unpopular opinion. I'm really not interested in the hotter a woman is, the less interested I am in. Because it's true, it's just too much work. It's like if it's just about physical, then it's like I might as well just pay for that. I've never paid for it like an actual prostitute. Pay for the exchange of sex like that. But it's really like at least you know, I don't like watching TV, but if I had a mate, I would be more apt to watch TV, watch movies, just sit down and chill, cuddle, have that human touch. And that's what's like, I need one or the other, man. If I'm not going to actually pop off on this, so I don't have to work a regular job, and like, you know, my music can get views. I have my books get read. So like I'm making, and then I would probably start selling stuff, merchandise, fashion, stuff like that. Maybe even like kind of like if I had the income, is buying a factory somewhere. Like what I'm trying to say, like people should be doing, like these rich people, and just kind of making like a toothpaste, just some general thing like toilet paper or something like that. It's my brand, and then like I sell it. Like I would have other ways to make money other than just on here. If I did pop off, if I did, like, I don't think it would be short term. I don't think it would just be like a one-hit wonder. I think that it would be it would be really I think that I would, with all the different content I have, some of my sock puppet accounts, the creativity I've put out here, the different music, the different ideas, I think I would not come back down like a lot of these creators are feeling. I think that I would sustain the level of fame, kind of like old school, kind of like the celebrities do. But if that's not going to happen, which is fine, I want a mate, someone. If I'm going to live a regular life, then I want to live a regular life. This being alone is not a regular life. It almost feels like a prison, dude. I feel kind of like I'm in a prison. I go to work, I come home, I can't afford to do anything. I'm an economic prisoner. If I'm going to be an economic prisoner, I want somebody to share that with. But the way women are right now, they just expect way too much, and they're overvaluing themselves. And I'm not going to compete with the internet. I'm not going to compete with her putting herself out there, and then these guys who have higher status than me, like coming. I'm not going to compete with that. It's just not going to happen. I want a humble woman, and you know, I don't. It's whatever, dude. I mean, it's just, it's just like this. I guess I'm just going to keep doing this. I guess I'm just going to keep working, and things have gotten better in my life. So I just want them to get better. You know, I want to be able to go do things. I want to be able to feel like I can afford to do things. I don't want to feel like I have to work all the time. Like I said, if I'm going to live a normal life, that's fine. But it just seems like I'm kind of in between. I'm just kind of tired. It's like either fucking pop off or don't, or like God, the universe, bring the woman in my life already that is gonna stay in my life for a long time. I'm really just tired of not having a relationship. I like a relationship. I want a loyal woman that's gonna be loyal to me. That's gonna treat me how she wants me to, like that how she expects to be treated. I'm not gonna put up with their talking to other guys. I'm not gonna talk to other women. You know, that's how it should be. And if I do have friends that are females, I'm not gonna talk to them like here every now and then. Oh, this is what's happening. Blah blah blah. I have a friend that I helped. She had a YouTube channel. She had like 6,000 followers, and you know, I helped her. Kind of like, I was like, you should get rid of this stuff. You know what I mean? And she did, and they're good. They're in a good relationship. They're married. You know, I don't want to go into their private life or personal life, but yeah, I want to, if I'm not going to ever get big off of here, I want the simulation of being big. So like, I play video games for a reason. I put myself in the video game like I'm the superstar, right? No, why do I do that? Isn't that weird? Like because like it's never gonna happen in real life. So it's kind of like a simulation. It's interesting to me. I don't know where I'm going on. This video's way too long, and if you made it here, like the whole thing, I appreciate it. Not many people do. Probably listen to 2 seconds of the video and that's it, and that's fine. You know, I get it. I did the same thing. Hopefully there wasn't too many ads in here. That if you're watching this for free, I think ads. I don't put ads in here, so that's all on YouTube. And maybe that's why I am where I'm at, because I'm not a sellout like everybody else, and maybe that's what it boils down to. You got to be a sellout.